Yeah, that's really the story. I mean, right there, Yamamoto did what he was supposed to do. We were asking from him as an ace, go out there, go deeper in the game. He got 6 innings and put up zeros and gave the team an opportunity to win. The offense had their opportunities. I mean, when you really look at it, they had 4 innings in a row. 4 innings in a row where the leadoff batter gets on base, and they were unable to knock him in. In a couple of those innings, you had Kim, who's a 9th batter, leading off, getting on base for the top of the lineup. We always talk about the bottom part of the lineup getting the job done so you can turn it over to get to the thump and the thunder at the top of the lineup, and still unable to score a run. I mean, yeah, the story is it's 0 for 12 with runners in scoring position. They left 12 runners on base over the course of this game. So the opportunities were there. They just could not get the hit to really capitalize on that. This is one when you're in the locker room as a whole, as a team, and as an offensive player going, man, we really let our team down. Our pitchers did an unbelievable job. They put up the zeros. Yamamoto, the bullpen, they were giving us a chance, and we could not find a way to knock guys in.
And listen, you got to give credit, too, to the opposition. They pitched extremely well. First Gray yesterday, and then today. Today's starter wasn't overpowering, but he was able to maneuver, especially with runners in scoring position. I think the most frustrating part is it wasn't like you ran into a buzzsaw. You had a Paul Skeens who was just dealing, or a Screwball who just had outstanding stuff. I felt, just looking at it, the players will go back. A lot of times they were pressing, and sometimes hitters, when they press, they'll get themselves out. Positive, 25 chances the last two days to score runs with runners in scoring position. Obviously, the Dodgers only 1 hit, and that one didn't even produce a run scored or an RBI. So, listen, sometimes baseball happens. This team is too talented. It just hasn't happened. I know it's frustrating. You as a fan, you're frustrated. I promise you, multiply that by 10 in that clubhouse. Those players are frustrated.
I'm going to come back to you on this one, just from this standpoint, Jerry, because you just mentioned that. We heard Oral say it on the broadcast. It's not like this is what you guys are accustomed to as Dodger fans. It's not what you guys watch, right? This is one of those moments and opportunities where Oral said it's like we're spoiled. It's been a game and a half, now 2 games, where you're struggling in said scenario. But last night, after going 1 of 13, Mookie Betts said, we need to have a better team approach with runners in scoring position. What is he talking about?
Well, he's saying sometimes, and I kind of touched on it a little earlier, is sometimes you're trying to be the hero. First of all, it's okay. You want to be that dude at that plate to get the job done. But sometimes, we've said in years past, don't be afraid to pass the baton. So what they mean by that back in the day with this former Dodger teams is, yes, if you get a pitch to hammer, you hammer it. But if a guy's kind of trying to force you to hit his pitch, don't be afraid to pass the baton. Meaning, if they're going to walk you, you don't have to force your at-bat. Trust the guy behind you to knock you in. I think these guys are pressing, understanding, you know what, we're struggling as a team lately with runners in scoring position. I say lately, the last 2 days. I want to be that guy to break the kind of thing that we're going through right now. Sometimes you got to take a step back and allow the guy behind you to take that at bat.
Well, listen, it's these last couple of games really where it's magnified, and it's really hard. I think it's also hard to believe that this type of offense is having this type of struggles there, and especially when they have so many guys who actually have great averages with runners in scoring position. I mean, I was looking at before the game. I mean, you got Will Smith, who's at the top of the major leagues with runners in scoring position. You got Freddie Freeman, Andy Paez. Those 2 guys are also in the top 10 in the National League with batting average with runners in scoring position. And Teoscar Hernandez wasn't in there. He was in there yesterday, who's another guy who's unbelievable with runners in scoring position. So they have the guys. It's really hard to believe. It's just one of these things where you go through, you're like, you start scratching your head and you get frustrated. And as you mentioned, are they pressing it? Are they doing stuff? Yeah. And we know they're throwing a lot of off speed to these guys. They know that. As we're watching how it ended here with Ben Kasparius going out there, and we're seeing that play at first base, and then the Cardinals eventually kind of walking this game off right here with Nolan Arenado, who comes in here. But really, the offense right now is just the ones kind of wearing this themselves. They feel it, and they're saying, man, we can't be just going out there and chasing their pitch. Even if it's off speed, you can still look in your spot. There's a difference between looking for the pitch or looking for your spot. Looking for your area where you do damage, and if that breaking ball falls into that, let it fly.
And I think we're all frustrated, I think more so today as opposed to last night. Both nights are frustrating, is you wasted a Yamamoto start. Yamamoto was absolutely dealing. And you know, as a player, hey, we got to manufacture one or two because we score 2 runs, we win this ball game. That's how we feel. I think that is the more frustrating part. But you got to really, as frustrated as we are, I know we're upset. We wanted to win this series. You got to take a step back. Listen, it's 2 games. You got to find a way to salvage the series tomorrow and be ready to go. You got to win tomorrow to have some momentum going to San Diego.
I mean, look at positives. You know, as you mentioned, they did have 25 at-bats with runners in scoring position. There's no doubt that's a positive. You also look at it in the hit column, right? Yesterday they had 10 hits. Today they had 9 hits. You know, we always say 10-5, but they got 9 hits collectively. It's just a matter of coming through at that moment. I guarantee it's, you know, with this offense, you know, we always say it's like these great players on this team that are going through a slump. You always go through it. Everybody does that, right? And then the opposing pitcher is probably thinking, please let it not be today where they break out of it. There's a pitcher out there going, they haven't hit, that's what they are on, runners in scoring position. I don't want to be the guy when they break out of it because they know when the Dodgers do it, they're going to put on a lot of runs.
2 games.
Yep.
It's not a slump.
Yep.
It's 2 games. Okay, I know we're frustrated today. It's 2 games. This is a great offense, not a good offense. Remember, if it wasn't for our offense, we would not be where we're at. Yep. We've had so many starting pitchers and relief pitchers on the IL. Our offense has carried this team. We're very fortunate to be where we're at record-wise. Let's admit it. You tell us Blake Snell's out. Obviously, Tyler Glass now Gonson. So many arms are down. If it wasn't for our offense, we would not be in this position. So let's just take a step back here. You're going to have 1 or 2 games, sometimes 3 games where it's just not there. No, we've been on some great teams. We just didn't hit for a couple days. Take a step back. Guys, I know it hurts. Once you hit the bus, start talking, do what you need to do, and then come ready to go and salvage a game tomorrow. So this is just too good of an offense.
We will get to, despite the loss, the other positive in this. And we know Yoshi probably would have liked the win. We know he would have liked the win, but his performance on the mound today, 6 shutout frames, 4 hits, 9 strikeouts, 2 walks through 94 pitches, no more. 61 strikes he threw. How do you break it down?
You know, he pitched like an ace. And, you know, there were times where we sometimes joke as a team, we're going, Yamamoto is going to start taking it personally because it's not just this game. He hasn't gotten any run support when he's on there. So, and it always seems to be that way at aces. I remember we used to do that for Pedro Martinez, and he used to just joke, like, do you guys not like me? You know, and it's for some reason, you don't know why. When you have your ace, it's like, of course, we have 4 run support. Oftentimes, sometimes that ace is matching up with the opposing ace, but nonetheless, Yamamoto was outstanding today. He pitched like an ace. He was putting up the zeros. He gave the team a chance to win. You know, I know as fans just watching, we're just hoping, like, score for this guy. Put some runs up. Give him a lead so he can take some of the pressure off. But even with the pressure, he was still going out there and dealing and putting up the zeros.
Yeah, Yamamoto has been a stud. You know, it's amazing. In his sophomore year, listen, I know he was a rookie last year, but really not really. He's an established ace now. He takes the ball. He wants to be the guy on the big stage. You saw him pitch in the World Series last year. Opening night in Japan, the pressure he had obviously on his shoulders, coming back to Japan, pitching in front of his home nation, and he pitched a gem against the Cubs. So whatever he does now on the mound does not surprise me. He had a hiccup last outing, but I love the way he was able to bounce back, had great stuff, and gave us a chance to win. That's all we can ask for from an ace. So Yamamoto, continue doing what you're doing. I promise you, at some point, you're going to get run support. It's going to happen.
I'm going to call it unlucky because of the 13 starts for him this year. The Dodgers have either gone 0 or 1 run on the board when it's all said and done. With that said, Yoshinobu Yamamoto with Kirsten in the media.
Yoshi, what was just the key for you kind of navigating through their lineup with Will Smith today?
I'm sorry.
The key for navigating through their lineup.
ライナップ、今日の相手打線、を抑えるにあたって、重要になってたところってどこですか？
試合前にしっかり、ウィルと話し合って、どういうプランでいくかっていうのもしっかり決めて、いつも通りですけど、いけましたし、とにかく自分のピッチングをすることに、特に集中しました。
Before the pregame meeting, Will and I talked about it, that lineup, and then try to build a plan for this game, and then I think because that's what we did today. Yeah.
What would you say was kind of working for you whenever there was traffic getting out of it, especially coming off of an outing in which the Yankees were able to get to you?
前回のヤンキース戦から今回の、試合までどういうふうな、調整アジャストとかされたんでしょう。
練習メニューといいますか、過ごし方としては、変わりはないんですけど、いろんな、試行錯誤しながら、微調整、できたかなと思います。
Basic, regimen of the daily schedule. Daily practice. I didn't change much, but I was more meticulous about small things.
You seem to have been unlucky pitching when the offense doesn't have a good day frequently this season. Is it frustrating to be out there in those situations?
山本さんが、登板するときなかなか打線がちょっと波に乗り切れないところがあるんですけど、そこに対してちょっとフラストレーションがあったりとかっていうのはありますか。
なんていうんだろう、野球なので、そういった試合も、あると思いますし、僕はなんていうんだろう、普段、助けられてたこともすごくたくさんあったので、いっぱい点取ってもらって勝てる時もあれば、粘る投球になる試合もあれば、これが野球かなと思います。
That is part of game, the baseball, and sometimes they spot my back, and then sometimes they struggle, and I try to give what I got for them, for the team. So it's just part of the game.
Ben, you've been excellent all year. Just what do you think kind of allowed for them to get to you today?
Just think I wasn't sharp in general. Obviously, those throws to first base are crucial and can't really happen. But just leaving off speed up in the zone. Thought they had a pretty good approach, but I think overall just not sharp.
Ninth inning, would you say the game kind of just sped up on you? Is that one of those situations, or?
Yeah, I think bunt came back to me, kind of checked the third, bobbled a little bit, and then kind of got sped up on that throw, and then with two outfielders and everything too, kind of the fly ball gets it done right there. So again, just not sharp. Kind of left the slider up in the zone for Nolan. He had already seen two of them, so it was a good swing, and I just didn't really have it today.
With the offense running the score, is there pressure for the pitchers to feel or to be a little bit finer to maybe feel the pressure that you can't give up anything?
Yeah, I don't think too much. Obviously, our offense is better than that. And again, it's a close game like that, but I don't really see it as us trying to do too much.
You're playing the eighth inning, look back on it, you just ate the ball, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I thought I had a shot there. Again, didn't make a great throw, and then Freddie had a really good effort at home, and ultimately should hold on to the ball.
Where did the ball catch you in the shin or something?
It got me in the wrist.
In the rib?
Yeah.
Assuming you're okay.
Yeah.
Okay, when you have a start from Yoshinobu in which he can have 6 shutout innings, and obviously you hope the offense to get going, how much of a challenge does it make when the offense in fact doesn't get going and you do essentially lose a start with Yoshi on the mound?
It just makes it, the way things are going right now, our margin is small, and we got to find a way to capitalize on whatever opportunities we do get, and recently we haven't. When Yoshi pitches the way he did, goes 6 scoreless, you'd like to think you're going to come away with a win right there. But to their credit, they prevented runs and got outs when they needed to. And unfortunately, we're in a position to try to salvage a series tomorrow.
Ben's been excellent this year. How do you think the game maybe sped up on him later in that ninth, or what was just kind of missing from him tonight?
I think that in the 8th inning, obviously he had a chance to, the ball off the hand, and then tried to make a play, and then obviously Wynn scores there from second base, and then in the 9th inning, I just thought that, just a PFP, and thought he had more time and didn't make a good throw.
How do you explain 1 for 26 with runners in scoring position? 2 games here.
I didn't know that stat.
I apologize.
Obviously they're making pitches when they need to. There's some strikeouts, there's some soft contact, and honestly, I don't think there's hard hit balls that were being robbed in those situations. They're just making pitches when they need to. So I know we talked about it yesterday, but I do think that from what my eyes tell me, that they are going soft, and we're just not putting good swings on some of these pitches.
But you do have 19 hits in 2 games, and your only run comes on a wild pitch. That's got to be a little concerning.
Yeah, it's a ball that hits the bag, and get a runner and score on a wild pitch. So that's baseball, and we gave ourselves a chance, but obviously, not enough.
When the risk numbers do break this way like they have over the last week, what do you guys have to do to make sure your group stays focused with it and stays with the approach that you want them to have?
I think that's what you got to do is right now it kind of goes in waves, and you can't kind of ride the emotional waves, and knowing that each guy is putting in the work and prepared, and it's going to turn. So there's certainly no kind of angst or panic, frustration certainly, because you don't like losing and not driving in runs when you have opportunities, and we are getting hits, so we are getting guys on base, but we're just not cashing in.
Can you talk a little about what went into the decision with Tony?
Yeah, he just had some elbow discomfort, and obviously with the pitcher, when there's elbow discomfort, we didn't see him making his next start, and so it just seemed like the logical thing, given where the pitching is at, a guy that's not going to make his next start, to get him offline, give him a handful of days to not play catch. Hopefully that